To be fair, it's the only game I've played this year. But even though that also qualifies it as the worst game I played this year, I still very much enjoyed it. So sit back, relax, and let me bombard you with disjointed opinions and unrelated tangents for the next
12
minutes. Afterlove EP is a 2025 visual novel developed by Indonesian game studio Pixelnesia and published by Fellow Traveler Games. In other words, not something I'd usually consider playing, but I had a pretty good reason. That I'll get to later. So what is it actually about? Afterlove EP stars Rama, lead singer and guitarist in the band Sigmund Feud, who after the sudden death of his girlfriend Sinta, completely disappeared off the face of the earth for a year. He re-emerges a year later, new songs in hand, and wants to get the band back together. It's been a year though, so his bandmates have kinda moved on, while he very much hasn't. Hard to do that when Sinta is stuck in his head constantly chatting with him. But can he finally be able to start anew and unite the band once more before the show in a month? Or will everything fall apart? Up to you, the player, I guess. Afterlove really isn't the most complex game from a gameplay perspective, but I mean, is any visual novel? Most of the gameplay consists of life sim elements reminiscent of Persona. You get 2 time slots every day to do whatever you want with. Play on the street, go to therapy, collect memories of Sinta, or pursue one of 3 romance options. It's the last element that's most reminiscent of Persona, but that prior experience kinda messed me up. Because through trial and error in that series, I've realized that balance is key. You must always keep social links and stats even, or the endgame will be your day of reckoning. But you need to reverse that here. If you want a good ending, you must pivot, and pivot hard. You must choose which, if any, of the romances you wanna do immediately after their introductions if you wanna get their good ending. I, of course, didn't know this on my first playthrough, so when I reached the endgame and realized that there was no way to duck the ending I was heading towards, I didn't ride it out as you'd expect. No, I felt too bad about the characters, so I reset and started over. Was it the wisest move? You know the answer to that. But hey, oh no, I can't come up with a witty comeback to that. It was kinda pathetic. Anyway, other gameplay elements. As you'd probably guess, this game isn't one for the illiterate. It is mostly reading, but I like that. As long as it isn't an actual book, I guess. There's some voice acting. Delusion Sinta has full voiceover, despite no one else in the conversation ever having that, and part of Mira's introduction has it too, for some reason. And oh yeah, the songs also do, of course. Speaking of songs, this game is also a rhythm game. During the jam sessions, you get to do a pretty standard music minigame, just press or hold the right direction when it pops up. Probably considered pretty easy as far as the genre goes, but it was the perfect difficulty for me, considering I ain't got rhythm. Like at all. I was kinda made fun for my absolutely zero musical skills growing up. Anyway, I thought this was not too easy and not too hard. More difficulty options could probably be appreciated, it's either normal or auto, but oh well, what can you do? I'll talk more about the music itself later, but I'll just say that some more variety would have been nice. There's 3 main songs and like 3 extras that come and go. I mean, it makes sense that they don't practice that many songs story-wise, the band is really tense and they don't have a full concert coming up, it's just an opener. But you know, from a gameplay perspective, it can be seen as lacking. Finally in this segment, I'll just say that the game could have used another collectible system. The memories are good, they work like in Breath of the Wild, find the spot shown in the photo, go there, get a cutscene, and piece together Rama's and Sinta's past. Very cute and all that, but them taking up an entire time slot felt a little harsh, and is the major reason for the time management problems I mentioned. But I don't think they were enough. There's a shit ton of areas that are entirely useless. None of the major characters hang there, no memories or anything. I mean, you can play music there, but you can also do that anywhere. So unless you really wanna check in with your favorite background NPC, exploration isn't really rewarded. This is an extremely character-focused game. It puts that so much further above the plot that it would be unfair not to give my thoughts on the most important ones. Though that's basically the entire cast. This isn't a huge game. Rama is a lovable protagonist and the most annoying character in the game. Though that was probably the point. He kinda lacks any good qualities. He's dense, he's self-centered, he's a bad listener, and the list goes on. The good things they wanna slap onto him are only there due to the player's influence. He's not attentive, I just forced him to be here. It's a unique disconnect due to the medium. Cinta is Rama's dead girlfriend and the demon haunting his mind. I don't really like her. Again, some stuff would hint that this was on purpose, but her gimmick got old fast. Basically, she gives quirky commentary and bad advice to Rama constantly while he's chatting with others, and he decides to respond to it, leading to 500 million awkward moments, something I could never handle. Also, sometimes she'd say something that's strayed too close to being Morgana-esque, which just added another aneurysm to the pile. I don't wanna spoil anything, I'll just say that she's a good character in theory, but I'm iffy on the execution. Tasha is the bassist in Singman Feud, and she can do no wrong in my eyes. She's the one who constantly calls Rama out on his bullshit and sets up the ultimatum that the entire plot revolves around. She's pissed that the Rama left everyone in the dark for a year, and I mean, I can't blame her. Probably because we have her perspective and not his. We didn't see what happened during that time, so our perspective of our protagonist is almost identical to hers. Adit is the drummer of the band and the middleman in Tasha's and Rama's arguments. He's kinda chill, and that's all I can say without spoilers. Mira is the first of 3 romance options and the one I did. With how much they hammered home her similarities to Cinta, I just thought her story would be most interesting. And I mean, it kinda was. It's also very clear that if there was a canon route, it'd be hers. The similarities to both Cinta and Rama, her introduction being the only one framed as directly romantical, only her and Cinta having voice acting, yeah, they didn't try to hide it. Satria is the manager of the local music store. He's the second romance option, and even though it's kinda treated like a twist that he's gay, anyone with a pulse would clock him from the second he appears on screen. His story is for sure the heaviest, tackling a lot of problems LGBTQ youth face both familiarly and societally. On a second, or I guess third, playthrough, I'd see this one through to the end. I liked him, he was kinda funny. Regina is Adit's girlfriend for all of 2 days in-game before they break up, and the last romance option. She's a model struggling with how her agency prioritizes younger girls, as well as getting over her breakup. She was a bit mean, so I didn't really go too far into her story, even on my first balanced run. Sure, a proper game reviewer would go back and do each run separately, but I don't wanna. The speed up dialogue button was way too slow, so it'd be too much of a slog for what this video's worth. And that's pretty much everyone. Sure, there's also Kakmus and the therapist, but there isn't much to say there. Okay, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. What came first? The chicken or the egg? It's the egg, I guess, kinda. I played like a third of the demo for Afterlove last summer and then promptly forgot about it. Then I got the idea for a video reviewing a bunch of demos slotted for December after I realized the anime about anime one would take too long, but that too got decimated when Fadel Games Cage came swinging and I realized cash was on the line. But I still wanted to talk about this game, which is what this video is. The profile picture is just a coincidence. I found the game's artist, Soyato, on Twitter when I was doing my rebrand. That also made it so I kinda had to cover this game. Tangent over. What I want to say is, the only reason I'm making this video in the first place is that I fucked with the art style too heavy and it lodged itself in my frontal lobe for a year. This game could have been about anything and I still would have played it, and that's saying a lot, seeing as I play 2 games a year. But as you may know, I am not physically capable of reviewing art. I'll just say I really like it. The character designs are great, but seeing as this is my magnum opus, I can't confidently go into specifics. The UI is a bit lacking in my opinion. Sure, the backgrounds are great and the audio cues are fun, they're all guitar sounds that still communicate the same thing as regular SFX would, but the buttons themselves are a bit too boring. This is the most nitpicky thing I've ever said, but hey, it's the one area I'd say I have some expertise in. The in-game phone UI is a bit better, though maybe a tad too simplistic. The map I have no notes with, but the others have some UX problems. The messaging app is really inconsistent in how long it saves text, and there really isn't any point in opening it. The calendar is a still image and you can't get any specific info out of it. The photo album is meant to give hints about the location of memories, but some of them really don't line up with the overworld. It's very nitpicky, but I don't know what else am I gonna talk about. Not only does this game tickle me visually, it also manages to pinpoint one of my 5 music tastes. But as you may know, I'm not physically capable of reviewing music. I'll just say I really like it, the vocal tracks are great, but seeing as they sound like a copyright strike in the making, the instrumentals will have to do. Here's a couple standouts in no particular order. Good stuff. Indie something, but I don't know. Even though I can't relate to basically anything Afterlove EP presents, the game is well made and realistic enough to make it personal nonetheless. It doesn't shy away from difficult topics and, at least for me, presents a new perspective on how grief can be portrayed. It's neither the most complex or longest game, but I think it does everything it has to. Is it perfect? No. Some UX problems and character development that takes way too long to happen prevents it from going above an 8 out of 10. Still, I had a good time. Will for sure continue to listen to the soundtrack, and my profile picture will always remind me of this game. So, should you buy the game? If you want. If it's on sale, I definitely recommend it if you like the social sim elements of Persona. I guess visual novels or rhythm games too, but I haven't really played any of those. Please subscribe. I wanna get money from you sooner rather than later. Follow KaifuK with 2 E's on Twitter for video updates, and KaifuK with IE if you wanna get spoiled on Chainsaw Man. Bye!